All right, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. As you guys can see here, my guest tonight is Catskill NY Prepper. So I've had the pleasure of meeting her twice, along with Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival and NY Prepper. Right. So
Thank you.
we've all met before. Anyway, that being said, it makes it easier to invite somebody you've met before on your show versus taking the chance and putting people on your live stream and then shit getting out of control. And you guys know who I'm referring to. With that, guys, this is Catskill NY Prepper. Ma'am, introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. I'm Catskill, NY Prepper. You probably have seen me quite a bit in the chats here and there. Thank you, Jason, for having me on. Um, yeah, I'm just a at-home mom in the Catskill Mountains. I'm raising my 4-year-old, and I have two older children, 24 and 21 almost. And yeah, I'm just kind of navigating everything going on with you all, and going through the motions and trying to stay prepared and just learning skills and doing the best I can. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Very good. That's probably most people right now, as far as prepping goes. Probably most people right now waiting for
Yeah.
the shoe to drop. So we were talking, real quick behind the scene. You heard that new uh, that new virus that they found in China. What are
Yeah.
what are your what is your view on that?
Um, to to be frank, I haven't really looked into that particular virus that much yet. It is starting to become like a situation for me where it always catches my attention, but it's like, okay, the lettuce is contaminated, oh, don't eat those cereal bars, they're contaminated. So it's like you can't even catch a break and look into one thing before something else is happening. And that's what I'm feeling like with this one. Now, I could be wrong because, like I said, I didn't look into it just yet, but yeah, things are coming at us in warp speed. So,
Right, and just like Lorraine Taylor was saying, the name of the virus, guys, is Lanya virus.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right, detected in China. 35 people supposedly are sick. They had no contact with one another, and they all didn't go or meet in the same place. So
Right.
the 35 people from different, they're all from one region of China, one
Uh-huh.
province, if you will, but they are um, 35. Now, 35 is a drop in the bucket when you compare to the number of people in China. So it's not bad. But again, this lends to why we still dealing with China at any levels. It seems like everything is coming out of their country. And
The
though
freest
this is not,
country that there is.
yes, right. So it's this is not a threat. I don't. I mean, I'm going to probably put my foot in my mouth, and by saying it's not a threat, and then like 6 months down the line, it gets out of control. But because the mortality rate for this one is 50 to 75%. If it does get out of control. Now, Lorraine said it was, or Lorraine Taylor, sorry if I said it wrong, uh, said that it's a zoonotic. Yes, supposedly it comes from shrews. I guess they're like those moles, but they're a little
Oh, yeah,
smaller,
yeah.
whatever, right?
Hmm.
So yeah. That being said, guys, it's like every day of the week we got some new shit to contend with. I'm like, I'm almost interested
Absolutely.
to see, right? I'm trying to figure out what's going to be for the next few months till the end of the year. What other bullshit they're going to pop up with? Now
Y- yeah.
you live upstate. I mean, you live way
Yes.
upstate.
Hmm.
What is the temperature, if you will, with this whole polio nonsense?
That's a great question because I homeschool, if you will. I have a 4-year-old, so schooling's mostly play. But the group of mothers, families that I'm involved in, many of them are not vaccinated, so for anything. So there's a few that are paying attention, but to be honest, and I just had this conversation today, many of them aren't too concerned just because I guess it was shown in the wastewater, right? There's not these like cases to an extreme. So I think it's on everyone's radar, specifically people who haven't received or their children haven't received polio. But it's it hasn't been around me a concern. I do definitely see an uptick in the face mask. So just in general around. So if
Okay.
that whatever. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
polio related or not.
Well, listen, I think that's the cure all right now. People like, hey,
Oh yes.
there's an uptick in AIDS, and everybody starts putting a mask on their face. They're like, but you can't breathe that in, man. Like so,
Yeah.
it's just it shows. Listen, I and I guess my warped head will sit here and think these people are fucking laughing at us, whoever they are,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
The was it the Club of Rome, the Committee of 300,
Yeah.
you name them, you name whatever group, the WEF, they're all laughing at
Yeah.
us. They're like, these idiots think that those handkerchiefs work and yada yada, like
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
now I have to ask you this question
Sure.
because I was talking to the wife about it earlier, and we were
Okay.
talking about the monkeypox arm ticket vaccine.
Yes. Yes.
Would you take it if it got out of control? If monkeypox got out of control?
I'm gonna say as of right now, no. No.
Okay.
And this may not be the answer that you're looking for. Why? But because it's like a pock, right? So, it's obviously uncomfortable, it's embarrassing, nobody wants that. But being that my background is in skincare, right? And I have fair skin, my skin heals quickly. So I'm not overly concerned of these lasting scars and everything else. So that's one thing.
Mhm.
And then just looking into it, the things that are in it, and the fact that the FDA has literally on their website saying, we don't have any clinical data to say if this is effective or not, or if it actually does anything. I know you had seen something I put on Instagram, but I literally just 2 hours ago saw somebody saying, "I can't wait to get my arm ticket because I want to do my part." And I don't normally even engage on Facebook, but I couldn't. The stupidity, it just runs deep. Like, I'm sorry, are you saying you're helping to be part of a clinical trial because you're not protecting me from anything or doing
Right.
me a favor, you know? So
Exactly.
no, I would say going on about that, no, definitely not now. I'll roll the dice.
Roger that. From the hood to the woods. Yes, I got your email. I got to take a look at the video, or you IM'd me, whatever it was. I got it. I didn't get a chance to look at it, so I will take a look later tonight. Thank you for that, by the way. Yeah, listen, because the wife and I, we got into this conversation about it. She's like, well, yeah, I don't want monkeypox. I'm like, shit, neither do I. But I'm not about to roll the dice and sit there and take this thing when it hasn't been researched. I said,
No.
I called it, and many of us called it, listening to other doctors about the first arm ticket, right? And
Yes.
now,
Yes.
just because this shit looks bad on their face, they know people are going to run and get it. I'm like, yo, I will just stay away from people. I'm not shaking anyone's hands. And I think
Yeah.
that'll be it. I'm not
Yeah.
licking guardrails. I'm not rubbing my face against windows. So there shouldn't be a reason for anyone else to
Yeah.
catch it. This is actually something easy to combat. Um,
Right. That's exactly what I was trying to say in the first half. It can be handled. I mean, it's not pleasant. Nobody wants it, but you know, are the counter side to that is like what is in the other thing? You could be getting something really bad.
right, right, exactly. So I mean, it's again, the different groups out
And
there
mosquito.
that want to minimize the human population. It seems like this is their game plan. It seems like, all right, let's see how many vaccines we can get people hooked on. Listen,
Yeah.
the Lyme disease, they announced the Lyme disease vaccine, though it's still another 5 or 6 years out, right?
Yeah.
And in that,
Why
I
are they
look at
taking
that,
so long with that one?
right, because there's no money in it. There's money in the other ones, right?
Mm,
Again, Bill Gates announcing earlier today, yesterday, about, you know, polio being a problem. I'm like, so this guy whose company funds Pfizer, or rather the polio vaccine, is now saying that it's a threat to us all. A
Yeah,
lot of us were vaccinated as kids. I know that vaccines do wear off over a certain amount of
sure,
time, but
sure.
nonetheless, um, here they go with another round of bullshit and another round of money making schemes for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if you start really kind of peeling back the onion with like just like everything else, we follow the money, that kind of thing. If you think about it, why are they really pushing that narrative of who is the biggest group that is targeted by the monkeypox, susceptible, right? And
Right.
homosexual men, right? And they have no qualms putting that out there in your face constantly. So right away my spidey sense goes up and says they're targeting these people. So if I was that, I would be, because nobody's here to help you. And then you start thinking, all right, well, Bill Gates, what is his family? What were they about? Oh, people who have autoimmune issues. Now I'm circling back to the 90s, thinking about the AIDS virus. And, so there's just like, if you start putting things together, maybe you could say I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, but you know what? It doesn't feel right and it doesn't look right to me.
No, it doesn't at all. And that's the it's funny because we sit here, all of us, uh, us people in the chat, chatting with one another on live streams, videos. We sit here, and interestingly enough, we're seeing where this is going, and it's funny, right? In any other profession, when you start doing, I guess you start connecting the dots, right? Detectives do it
Yeah,
all the time. It's how they solve cases, though they don't have the evidence, but they connect a lot of the dots and they go, okay, this is what went down, but now let's find the evidence after they connect the dots. In some cases, they get
right.
the evidence and they connect the dots. Now, here we are, preppers. We're doing the same thing. We're connecting the dots, and the dots are connecting really fucking easily at this point. It's not
And fast.
right. And it's not like detectives who have to sit there for months and stare at a board with all these things and going, yeah, this is starting to make sense. We are looking at it and going, yo, this shit's making fucking sense and fast.
Yeah. I always say, and I'm not trying to knock myself, I'm not a genius by any means. So why do I see these things so clear? And some people just don't see it, and they could be the brightest person ever. And then I did see a silly meme where it was like basically saying that people who had ADD or people who were, maybe a little more of like anarchist in like school, who weren't paying attention. These are the people that really kind of now are awake, I think, or people who didn't always follow the lead of everyone. And the people who did, a lot of those people I know are just, going through the motions of what everyone's telling them to do. I'm sure that's not across the board, but I don't understand it.
It's funny. I think, again, you just said it. A lot of us who are on here, who are preppers, we go against the norm, right? Or we woke up at some point and go, fuck this, I'm not going to be part of the collective. That's
Yeah,
what they want. They want us to be part of the collective so
right,
that we go along, and we go along to get along, right?
right. Yeah,
Uh, for example, the other day at the CrossFit gym, I was motherfuckering this dude, motherfuckering the shit out of him because he was being a fucking asshole. And I knew the kid was off. I knew the kid um, was on the spectrum, just because of the way
right.
he walked, he talked, the way he
Okay.
interacted. But I don't leave that to be an excuse to be a dick. And over the course of the couple months I've been going back, he has definitely, been that dick. Anyway, while me and him were arguing, a couple people walked over like, guys, relax, guys. I'm like, yo, fuck that and fuck him and fuck you. This guy needs to know about himself. And the guy was
Yeah,
like, the guy that was telling us to relax didn't know how to react. And then it dawned on me afterwards. It dawned on me. I'm like, these people don't want to fight. They just want to fucking do whatever it takes to
so
get
long to get
along,
along.
so that
Yeah,
they're not stressed out. So
yeah,
what they do now, right? They're stressing these same people out, but what are they willing to do? They're willing to jump online, put a thing in their body that has not been
Yes.
tested.
Yes. The thing that really, because this whole thing for me, meaning everything that's been going on the last, what, almost 3 years, it's almost like a very interesting psychological experiment. And I looking at everything and taking it in and seeing how people react and even trying to, view how I feel about things. It's what's interesting to me is the rage and the outcry in the beginning of, let's do this for, everyone and blah, 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 and you're the problem, to now, and on my personal Facebook, which again, I don't put a, excuse me, I lost my AirPod. Sorry. That
Or-
I don't put a lot on. I noticed that nobody says a word. I could put something out there and I just share an article and Northern Girl's on my Facebook, and she's probably the only one that hits the like button. Nobody, they don't want to say it. I don't know if they're reading it. I don't know if I'm shadow banned. I just think people don't want to be put in that category where they're standing out and not, so maybe some people do agree, but they're not going to say it. And that's really scary.
Well, I can back that up. When I was a fireman a very long time ago, 6 months ago,
Yeah.
I remember guys, they would see my post. I would post some fucked up shit. I still do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they would sit there and go, I'm not fucking pressing like on any of his comments.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to be associated if he gets in trouble. And they would always say that. And
Yeah.
they would say it jokingly, but I know that they meant it, And the guys would
And
be
you
like,
found out, didn't you?
huh?
You found out that they weren't going to follow through. The
Right.
majority
I
of
mean,
them.
they would read it. Right. They would read it. They'd come to the
Hmm.
kitchen. They'd be like, yo, did you really post this shit? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they go, you can get in trouble. I'm like, you guys sound like a bunch of bitches. I can tell you right
Yeah.
now, if we had to fucking fight and revolutionize this country again, or re-revolutionize this country again,
Yeah.
you guys are not invited because you guys are fucking pussies,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how people are so afraid now. And keep in mind, firemen go down a
Yeah.
fucking hallway lit on fire and
Yeah.
into rooms that are on fire, but
Sure.
scared to voice their opinions because they don't want to get in
That
trouble with the job.
that's absolutely the truth. I don't understand. I mean, I think you really got to see what people are made of, who's made of what, and who your friends are and aren't. And listen, I have a lot of friends that clearly disagree with what I have to say, and we're able to just keep it nice and enjoy our friendship. And I'm just not going to share that stuff with them, and that's fine. And I think that's important to respect that. But yeah, it's a little scary. I worry for those people I care about that are like that with what's going on.
Oh, you know what? I used to worry about them. I don't worry about them anymore. Like, fuck them. You're on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not losing sleep, but yes, it makes me
It's
sad.
very good. So listen, what do you think is going to be the final catalyst to push everything over the edge?
Regarding the topic tonight, pretty much and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah. I like I said to you, back screen is I think there is a sequence of events unrolling that it's not going to be okay. They release the smallpox, and we're all dying here. I think it is a slow, if you want to call it slow, but there's people with compromised immune systems that are being targeted, and I'm just not speaking about homosexual. Like anyone with a compromised immune system is going to have issues, and it's just going to keep trickling and trickling. And I think that's also why they're pushing this smallpox vaccine, because I think that's going to trigger more issues. And I think it's going to get to the point where there's going to be major problems that people can't deny. And as a prepper, listen, I'm not perfect in every facet of prepping, but I think the most important thing is being aware of what's going on so that when shit hits the fan, you're not freaked out like, oh my God. We read these articles and we're like, look, that's about right. Whereas the laid person freaks out. And when it really happens and these people freak out and they don't have food, they don't have supplies, and they're just mentally, We know that there was a big issue, during lockdowns with suicide and everything else, domestic violence. I think society is just going to collapse in on itself, basically. If they're not going to take us out one way, they're definitely going to take us out another. That's how
Yeah.
I see it.
Now, the crazy thing is, people talk about like agenda, was it 2030, 2050?
Yeah.
I'm hearing in the next 2 years, where are we? 3 years rather, sorry, 2025 is when everything starts to kick off.
Well,
So,
that's that is it Deagle report? Am I saying it right? The Deagle
yes,
report.
you go.
Yes. I don't know how true or not true or whatever, but that's a very interesting thing, and it makes you wonder, and the timing of everything. Um, yeah, I just, we saw in small doses how quickly and how nasty people turn on each other. And our friends, I know when we had first had our lockdown, and here I am in the middle of the Catskills, which is upstate New York, in a state park. I was walking my son on a trail, and two probably 65 plus year olds, 50 yards away, nobody else. I'm giving my son a bottle. They walk by me and start cursing at me, telling me on the phone because I don't have the mask on. I mean, nobody else was there, and I'm not even kidding. It was just the four of us. And I just was shocked, and I basically told him to F off, and he was an asshole. But, here we are. Like, in a different time period, that person probably would have came over and been like, "Oh, what a sweet baby."
Right.
So people go nuts real quick, and that's what we need to be aware of.
Well, again, because of the control, like we were saying earlier, they're laughing at us,
Yes.
or in my case, laughing at me. But nonetheless, uh, because they're sitting there going, look at that. We set something in motion that got people aggravated. Now, remember, when
Mhm.
we weren't wearing a mask, people were yelling at us, like you said, right? I got
Yes.
yelled at once or twice.
Me too.
Um, I remember one of the places I got yelled at was in Fairway supermarket I shop at. And
Yeah.
the lady was like, how come you don't have your mask on? You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to tell your boss. And instead of being slick about it,
I remember you telling this story.
right, instead of being slick about it, I should have said, you know what? My name is Juan and my manager's over there. That's how I should have replied.
Yeah.
Instead of tearing into her the way I did.
Mhm.
Nonetheless, she left it alone.
Yeah.
But now we have a potentially uh, another pandemic brewing here in New York
Yeah.
City. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Are you referring to the polio or the monkeypox, more
monkeypox,
or less?
that
Yeah. Yeah.
polio, that's a different situation when we get. I think
Yeah.
that I don't think we're going to see anything of that, but they're trying to
Mm.
scare people into it. Uh,
Sure. Yeah.
unless
One way.
unless Gates doesn't get his numbers right and
Right.
he doesn't see income from that, then we're going to start seeing cases.
Right.
Right now, I
Right.
don't think we're going to see much. But
Right.
monkeypox, why isn't anybody pointing the finger? When you weren't wearing a mask, they were up your ass and in your face and
No
screaming at
pun
you.
intended.
Right, exactly. No
Sorry.
pun intended. But now there's a community of people spreading this around and continuing to spread it around.
Oh, you
Right,
can't touch the rainbow people. You cannot.
right.
No, God forbid.
Yeah, the letter people, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's just it's insane that no one's saying anything. Now, yesterday, interestingly enough, I think it was the CDC finally said it. They finally told them to relax with the sexcapade. They didn't say that.
Mhm.
It said sexual
Yeah.
activities and meetings, and they said that.
Yeah.
So they actually took responsibility for change. The CDC, for once in their fucking miserable career or
Yeah.
existence, sorry, said something about it. But no one else wants to say anything about it. And when I said something to
Mm.
a guy, he was like, "Oh, you can't do that. That would be discriminatory." I'm like, "Then fucking sign me up for the discriminatory board." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yo," I said, enough. I said, it's all right to yell at people for not wearing a mask or
Or
not
make
getting a
or make
ticket,
them retire from their job. You
or right,
know.
or force a bunch of us out.
Yes.
But now
Yeah.
we can't point fingers to these people over here, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same
No.
exact shit.
No.
Same shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, with everything going on, um, I think it's a multiple front attack. I
Yeah.
think they're
Agreed.
definitely attacking our society socially, our social interactions, how we respond to one another, because
Mhm.
we seem to be getting into arguments over bullshit too. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about like over dumb shit.
Yeah.
People are getting shot, stabbed for, again, dumb shit here in the city. You would think, at least with the shootings, gang related, you're like, I get that.
Right.
But when people are being shot just because, yo, he looked at a dude the wrong way or he cut him
Yeah.
off on the highway, what the fuck, right?
Yeah, no, they're on edge. People are on edge, and then you wanna add in, financial issues and recession and gas prices and all this stuff, and, our grocery bills have tripled, so it's like you said, it's a multifaceted situation that, is unraveling everything. So it's not good.
No, it's not good. And the mental health aspect of everything, that's what's fucking everything up. We're not addressing it.
No.
And when we do address it, we make it okay for others to be psych patients out in the open and other
Yeah,
people to suppress their thoughts. So for those of
absolutely.
us, right, who said, listen, I want to vote for Trump for 2024, people like, fuck that, fuck you, you're a fucking asshole, hope you die of ass
Mm,
cancer, right?
yeah,
But they're telling you to keep your thoughts to yourself.
right.
Meanwhile, you can come out and tell people, well, my pronoun today is brick and mortar because that's how I feel. And then you're like, wait, what? But that's okay. But to
Right.
have a simple conversation about who's the better president, Biden or Trump,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you can't it's not even they can introduce you gotta, like, engage in this, like, dance of insanity with these people. I
Yeah.
shoulda introduced myself. My name is, Catskill. And he, she, and I have a black shirt on and whatever. That would've been funny.
Yeah. What was that about? I still don't get it. I don't know why she
I
said that.
I've never seen, anyone introduce themselves and talk about what color outfit they're on. Like, are we not all seeing this? Do we not know our colors?
Yeah.
I have no idea, to be honest. I'm a little confused as to what that was about too.
Right. Because she said, I'm sitting down. I'm like, bitch, we know that. And we know you got a blue dress on. So what the fuck is? I'm like, is there something? Am I supposed to see another? Am I supposed to see another color like green or red? Or
Right.
I was like, what the fuck was this whole thing about? But anyway,
Yeah.
um, I just think that we're feeding in to, and somebody in the chat just said there are more psych patients than there are normal people, if you will,
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Listen, we are not normal. Preppers,
Right.
we're fucking far from it, man. Uh,
Yeah.
I think we are absolutely uh, we're in our own spectrum of specialness, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think we can all rationalize and realize what's going on and make certain decisions based on facts. Whereas people today are making decisions based off of emotions,
Right.
or not emotions, emotions. Sorry.
Yeah.
And like the pronoun people, I mean, like those fucking assholes. I mean, they know, like my pronoun is. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what your pronoun is. Your pronoun
No.
doesn't have to be dick face in 2 seconds. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
go
I
ahead.
mean, I'm sorry. No, I feel passionate about that too. I just you listen, at the end of the day, my stance is as an adult, I don't care what you do. I don't care how you dance around, how you introduce yourself. I'm not going to engage in that stupidity. I'm not going to start a fight with you. You're not going to bring it into school. And chances are I'm not going to be around that. So, and then that's my choice. But these people want you to conform to what they're doing and you need to play along. And if you don't, you're racist, you're this, you're that. And it's like, I've actually just like, I've stepped away. I have no desire to be around anything that involves anything remotely of that nature. Not to sound lame, but I don't really enjoy I'm not going to concerts. I don't really go to places where I might have to engage in that behavior, because it's just not something I'm going to deal with.
It's funny because you said it and a couple people said it. They were like, just don't push your nonsense on me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? We are well past that point.
Yeah.
As of
Yeah.
right now, I,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I call people out on it. I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? fuck them and fuck that. If you're gonna make me play this game that I don't want to play, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
fuck your day up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go out of my way to make you fucking cry over a box of bonbons, whatever the fuck those people eat. Uh,
Yeah.
because enough already. What telling people, hey guys, I just don't want to play this game, and then they'll tell you in response, it's not a game. This is my pronoun. You better respect it. Well, I'm like, well, first of all, dick face, I don't know you from a hole in the wall, so why should I
Right.
respect it?
Yeah.
Right? But we keep giving these people,
An inch. They're
yes,
taking a mile,
exactly, and
and
by
it doesn't
saying
stop.
right, and by saying as long as they don't bother me, no, that's gone. That's a
Yeah.
way to pass.
Yeah.
We took that stance a few years ago. Look where we are now,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
let them get away with so much shit, because we didn't break their balls, because we didn't get in their fucking face about saying dumb shit in the street. This is where we are, because we
Yeah.
took that stance.
And you know what? I think that even if people are, they agree with what you're saying, we're at this point where we're afraid to say anything or upset the status quo. And you're right. What did they take? Listen, I have this in my head that I'm going to homeschool. I don't see any other way. It is not my dream to homeschool. It never was. I am scared shit about it. I don't know if I could do it, but I'm going to go with it. But you know what? I don't want to put my sweet child into this mess where in the school district up here, you would think in the middle of the Catskills, I learned that in kindergarten they have animal week. Oh, that's lovely. Except you can choose whatever animal, and it can be a boy or it could be a girl this day, and it can change within out the day. Do you see the grooming of the fluid and all? No, not doing that. I'm not getting involved in that.
Exactly. Like, and listen, here's the kicker. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I wish more of the LGBT community would stand up against this shit,
Agreed.
because there are enough of them that are tired of this bullshit.
Hmm.
There are enough of them that hate hate the direction this new generation's going, but
Yeah.
they don't say anything, and or
Right.
maybe they are, and no one's paying attention. But I
Right.
wish one of these guys or chicks, or chicks pretending to be dudes or dudes pretending to be chicks, come out and say it, yo, enough already.
Yeah.
Fucking so many old school gay guys paved the way for these young dudes, and they're
Right.
fucking it up right now. They're fucking
Yeah.
it up late ways of Sunday.
Yeah.
But that's with everything. That's with everything,
No.
people,
Oh,
right?
yeah, right, absolutely, and then just like I had said something about, years ago, I thought I was like a feminist, right? I can do everything on my own. I could work, I can raise kids, I was a single mom for a while. I could do all this. And then I made a post saying something how I like to cook dinner for my husband. Now, all these nasty women came after me saying, "Oh, well, I don't, play it into my husband." I'm like, well, I say I like to cook for my family. It's an interest of mine. And they're like, "Well, no, I'm more of a feminist." I'm like, "No, you're more of a jerk." Like this no. And so you're right. Every group is now going into this extreme direction and like you said, spoiling it for everyone else.
Yeah, big time. I mean, listen, and the other thing is, I think some people hide behind those excuses to be lazy. Like those women you were talking about, they're using that so that they don't have to cook. You know what I mean? Or they don't know how to cook and they don't want their husband to find out how bad of a cook they are. And then that's
Yeah.
automatic divorce, right? If you're a shitty cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's it. But I mean, in the prepper game, it's there are times, even now, when I talk about stuff like this, even when I'm doing my videos, I'm like, yo, is this crazy talk? Am I fucking talking crazy? And then I go downstairs, I start editing, and I see articles or more videos of what I was just talking about. I'm like, maybe
No.
not, because
No.
it's so insane what's going on that you can't fucking believe it, even after you watch it unfold. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we watched. Go ahead.
No. No, I was cutting you off. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say we watched COVID unfold. I didn't
Yeah.
think in a million years I would see anything like that in my lifetime.
No, no. And you were, into the whole prepping thing way ahead of this. So yeah, if you didn't, yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us did. And I think, when you were saying like, are we in crazy town? I feel that way. But to be honest, if it wasn't for getting involved in this community and talking to all of you guys and, sharing information daily and seeing things daily, I would, where am I gonna, you know, share this information with and talk with other women? I go on play dates, there, yeah, we may talk about a few things here and there, and I'm very lucky that I have some nice people that, are on the same tip, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, guys, did you hear? They're not here for that. They're here for their kids.
Right.
So it's very helpful to have all this and to be able to kind of like release it. Even my husband in the very beginning, he was like, well, you're very supportive, but he's like, Allie, you seem a little off these days. I'm like, no, I'm telling you. And he works a lot, so he's not paying attention. Now he's completely, in the same line of thinking, and if even like further in just different ways. But it's hard. It's hard. It does seem insanity. With that being said, I was thinking about, and I just wanted to know your thoughts. Remember a while back with the UN, and they were trying to get that. I don't know if it was some sort of law passed or something where the UN was going to be able to override our own bodily autonomy in the time of a pandemic. And I guess there was supposed to be a vote and they didn't get it. And now I guess it's going to be put on hold for like a year for the next one. And it was like at the WEF meeting or something like that.
Right.
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 I was thinking about that when you brought up this topic for the video. And I was thinking like, that time frame that they were going to be able to like institute that was like this fall. And we all suspected, okay, what are they unleashing this fall? And I half wonder, was it like going to be, was the monkeypox vaccine supposed to be the one that they were going to mandate? You know what I mean? That the UN was going to be able to override.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely looking. They're definitely looking to. Sorry. They're definitely looking to push something new.
Right.
But like you said, and now thinking about after what you said, um, maybe they are releasing things slowly but surely, because you're right. The UN wanted to have more control during the pandemic.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't know. Now I've read that whole thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot. There was nothing. They were more concerned about response and
Yeah.
how to treat the pandemic and how to contain it. That's what the bigger problem was.
Hmm.
It's
And it
containment.
was vague. It was vague. What is
Super vague.
containment? Yeah.
Right. Very vague. With that, I could see them releasing more things
Hmm.
to get that control, or to look at the United States, or have the United States, not the United States, sorry, to have the other countries, Russia and China, who also walked away from that deal, to look at them like, you see, we have these
Yeah.
pandemics popping up, and maybe that's how they're going to try to get control. I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
They're definitely going to be pushing more. We're going to be seeing more. I mean, listen, right before, no, actually, right after COVID, we started seeing these ailments pop up all over the world, and things that
Yeah.
were dormant, been extinct, eradicated for decades, now coming back,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And it's just interesting how it's a timetable. A lot of people saying 2030, 2050, right? Maybe they're not trying to arm ticket their way out of this. Maybe they're trying to arm ticket the population to be smaller,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
For sure. Yeah, I think that would be their end game. It makes me think like just how the UN didn't get that control, but there's obviously so much money and so much effort being put into these things. So plans need to change, I would assume. And then I guess like Human Health and Services or what, and the FDA had to just issue like emergency declaration. I think it was today, um, in how to administer this new arm ticket. I guess it's something like a fifth of the dose, and it goes into the skin instead of subcutaneous, which would be into the fat.
Right.
And it's very interesting because I have a little bit of a medical background. To me, I always thought that the way you inject something is important. So if someone said to me, okay, well, we're going to give you this dose and it's going to go deep, but you know what? We want to stretch the product. So we're just going to give you a fifth of it and we're going to put it just superficial. Like that seems odd. So, in order for them to do that, they had to issue a whole new emergency status. And I'm sure, though I didn't look into it, I'm sure with this emergency status, it gives more control, right?
Right.
So that's interesting to me, and that I believe just came out today.
Well, that's the thing. Everything seemingly is about control, and when they have control, sorry, they can, or rather, sorry, when they have emergencies that they want to control,
Yeah,
they do these state of emergencies or medical emergencies, and then they could make up whatever rule they want as they go along.
exactly.
We
Right.
saw what's that asshole's name?
Cuomo.
Cuomo. Yes, right. We saw Cuomo do
You said asshole. I knew who you were talking
it. Yeah,
about.
he said I said asshole. He said Cuomo. Yeah, yeah. Right? We watched him do it.
Yeah,
We watched other governors do it in other parts of the world.
yeah.
I mean,
Hochul's right there, ready to go. You know.
yeah, it's like they had this drawn up, and they were like, "All right, guys, we're going to implement X, Y, and Z." And I
Yeah,
was just like, "What the fuck? That quick?" Like they didn't even give it a week. They were
yeah,
implementing it right away. So it's all. I mean, we all know it's all about control. But the problem is, if we're preparing for whatever's coming. Um, but if they are more concerned with control, how is that going to affect us down the line?
yeah.
What are they going to do? What are they going to take away? You know that I just read an article. I read half the article, not the whole thing. Now they're saying rainwater is no good for us because of the forever chemicals in the water.
Right. Like, and what you mean, like even like all the fertilizer and all that stuff and then it goes back up. Almost, is that almost like acid rain?
Right. That's what they're trying to peddle. I think to
Right.
my I think to my point is that now they're trying to control the water so that they're starting with it so that you don't collect it. Well, that
You're
water is
right.
bad water for you, so you can't
Yeah.
collect it. So
Right.
now,
And they want to help you. They're here to help
right,
you. So right. Yeah.
they want you to
Yeah.
take their water. So
Yeah.
it's listen, it's all a sham, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a small video on that, but I couldn't believe what the fuck I was reading. I'm like, yo, am I really reading this shit? Are they really fucking telling us now that rainwater's bad because of
Yeah.
forever chemicals? What the fuck are forever chemicals anyway? I know
Yeah.
what they are, but
Right.
go ahead.
I believe that there's many or several states that you're not allowed to do that in, even like California, like I think regulates how much water you're allowed. I know they regulate how much water you can, you know, during like the dry seasons and stuff, water the lawn and stuff. But I thought I read and seen posts from people saying that they're only allowed to collect a certain amount of water and stuff like that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's why I'm sorry. That's why like living, at least I know New York's New York, but at least where I am, there's a ton of water around and fresh water. So, thinking about, where I eventually will move to, and it may still be within New York State. Um, water is like probably like the number one thing for me that I look at. Water and just safety. Not having 1,000 people around me is, a big deal to me.
Yeah. Well, that's there's definitely some truth to that. You don't want as many people around you as I have, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always going to be a fucking problem.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, Someone said Denver illegal to catch rainwater off your house.
Yeah,
Right. So I know that Maryland, there's a spot in Maryland that has the same thing. You can't catch water, or you can't collect rainwater, or they were charging you or trying to charge you for rainwater that landed on your land.
yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that? How does that even happen? But
That
go ahead.
that's like the solar power. I mean, in New York, yeah, you can get the solar up, but it's not like you can harness it and save it and use it. It's just a means of basically, and I'm not talking about like the jackery stuff. I'm talking about like solar power that runs through the meter. Like it's just to be used to help decrease your bill, you know?
Right. and now that they're going to be robbing us blind with that bullshit.
Mhm.
Start
Mhm.
telling more people, hey, you're going to have to put this on. We'll give you a deal on your power,
Yeah.
and then 20 years down the line, they're going to demand everyone puts it on their homes, right?
Right. Right.
So it's everything starts off with good intentions or supposedly good intentions,
Yeah.
and down the
Right.
line, they start sticking it to us, however they can.
Yeah. I think it maybe, you said where are they going with this and everything. It's like, or you asked, what do we do? What can we, we're prepared, but where is it going? What can we do? I don't know. Maybe it's like what you said with the ABC group. You give them an inch, they take a mile. I mean, where's the line drawn that we're saying enough, enough? Where are we drawing that line as a country, as a state, as your town? Prepper now always says, hit them where it hurts, and that's in the wallet, and trying to change up things like that. And I agree with that. It just seems like it's overwhelming to think about like what you would really have to do to like stop this stuff, especially when the majority around you are asleep at the wheel. And that's exactly what I see.
Well, I think okay. So the other problem to that, which you were just mentioning, is that J6. I think J6 spooked a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Because now, and not spooked them in a way that they don't want to do it because they're scared. They're scared now that no one's going to back them up. But there
Right.
are millions of people that think that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine, now nobody wants to jump into action because they're unsure if they're going to get anybody to fucking back them up. And that's
Right.
the same goes for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yo, there's so many things we could be doing right now to fucking level the playing field, but we're
Right.
not because we're scared,
Yeah.
right? We don't know
Right.
because if I set some shit off, guess who's going to jail by himself? Me, right?
Right.
And then everybody's going to be like, that stupid Negro, and then that's that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
if we get more people to jump on the fuck them bandwagon,
Yeah.
we can absolutely change some serious shit. Though
Yeah.
you also have the left to contend with. You have
Right.
the liberals and the Antifas and those groups out there
Yeah.
that have to battle, which I'm
Right.
okay. But
Yeah.
again, if you notice, even after J6, even Antifa and them quiet the fuck down,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, look at BLM. I mean, they're like kind of non-existent now.
Well, they destroy themselves. They single-handedly
Mm,
fuck themselves.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
for sure.
I mean,
I go ahead.
no, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that sharing information and doing things like you're doing, and posting things, and I think that people are quiet because they are more aware. So I don't even know if it's a knowledge issue. I think it's a matter of like being courageous issue. People are weak. I see a lot more like mama bears online, and maybe I just see it because, I am one and I cater to that group more, but I see women, in outrage when their kids are being messed with. But like we need to like stand up and voice things like enough is enough. The woke stuff is absolutely destroying, the culture, and hopefully the whole, go woke, go broke thing is going to translate into like fizzling some of it out, though I don't know.
Well, yeah, the what's funny? Who just did it? Fuck, I want to say DC Comics.
Hmm.
They recently shelved the Batgirl, right? So in the
Yes,
back, right?
yes, yes, yep,
And they shelved it because it was too much woke stuff, woke shit in it. And the
yeah,
guy who's now running the DC division of Warner Brothers said enough's enough.
yeah,
So the whole movie is trashed, which is good. That's a good thing.
right,
It's a good thing someone woke up. But
yeah,
Marvel Comics, which I was like, I was so hell bent on seeing these next Marvel comic movies come out. I can't. Not after what
right,
Disney did.
yeah,
So Thor and Doctor Strange and Black Panther 2, I'm
yeah,
not going to see. And like I said, I really want to see them. I'm just not going to entertain giving them any of my money. Now,
right, but
if somebody could steer me in the direction of a link to a movie illegally, I'll take that. I'll watch it through that. But yeah, I won't give them a fucking a cent.
right.
I'm done.
Yeah, no, I mean, I listen, I don't have to worry about a Disney vacation with my kid because I'm not giving them a cent either. I was never a huge Disney fan anyway. My older two I definitely brought, but no, I'm not about any of that. Absolutely not.
No, and now that Disney's feeling it, it's hurting their pockets. Hold on, give me
Yeah, go
two
ahead.
seconds.
Hey, chat. I'm just gonna say hi to you guys. Thank you for all tuning in. I'm just reading the chat here. Or paying attention. Hey, Billy the Kid. Angry's making me do a solo stream here. Thank you, Prepper Now. You guys gotta listen to Prepper Now if you don't, for sure. He's a staple in my home. I do a lot of driving, and I count on his news, so much appreciated. Hey, Kristen. Thank you, Northern Girl. Appreciate it. Hey, Klingon. Daryl. No, thank you, Prepper Now. Yeah, things are a little crazy. Thor, I'm not really sure. I mean, it's a part of that whole franchise. I think they have some kind of woke stuff in there. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of lame. I haven't watched a movie in a while. I'm watching YouTube, guys. I'm watching you guys when I can. And lately, I haven't even been watching as much because I'm exhausted going to sleep. Thank you, Hudson. Listen, if you guys are in the New York area and you can ever make it to one of Hudson Valley Prepping and Survivals events, I definitely think you should. It's a lot of fun. The nicest people I've ever met. Sorry, I was carrying the show here. Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. There you go.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Of course, there's a delivery. That took fucking forever to come up here. And meanwhile, he's walking to my door with his fucking pants around his ass, and I'm like, but if you would have wore the fucking pants at your waist like a fucking human, you wouldn't walk like a fucking asshole. But of course, I was thinking that in my head. I didn't say it out loud. Just because I wasn't in the fucking mood. But the Catskills. Okay, so this is an interesting question. I'm curious to know this too. Max Links, are the Catskills conservatives or total libtards?
So that is a good question. So when I first got this little house up here, I thought it was completely more conservative, right? Because it's upstate New York. It's about 2 hours out of New York City, so it's not like that far upstate. But when the pandemic hit, a flood of people from like Brooklyn, I always say Brooklyn, came to a town called Woodstock, which I'm sure you guys heard of. It's actually not where the original Woodstock festival was, but the town is Woodstock, and it's very hippie vibe, and they all live there. Now, I knew this, but I was trying to get my kid to interact with, other kids because nothing was open. And I was going on mom groups, and everyone's like, well, if, we can play outside if there's, 3 masks on their face and we stand 6 feet apart. And I'm like, these people are not my people. So I'm a little more north now where I meet people. So a lot more conservative people than you think. But there's pockets for sure. Pockets. Because a lot of people left New York City or have their summer house up here. So.
Well, yeah, that seems to be the trend for liberals to go infect another area and fuck that up, right? They're doing it to Texas. We're watching them destroy Texas.
Absolutely.
Right? Austin is as liberal as it gets, and there are a couple other places in Texas that are like super liberal. But even like the red states, they're seeing an influx of these liberal nuts come in and then try to change it. And the problem is, and this is, and I'm gonna place blame on the red states on this one. You guys are allowing these people to move in and then allowing them to run for office, whatever that office is. And that's how they change the shit. It's because they get into office. You guys are not doing a diligent enough job to fight these assholes off. If you have to throw your fucking hat in the ring, guess what? You throw your hat in the ring and you fight back. But you don't sit there and point at the TV screen and bitch and moan about fucking liberal politicians if you're not in there helping out your politician that you want to win, or helping or starting a race yourself and fighting against that asshole.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that goes back to people being like cowards and afraid to speak up. They may agree with you, but they don't want to say it. I've had so many people message me privately who have said, yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, but I'm afraid to say it. I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that. Now, listen, I'm an at-home mom, so like I don't have a boss other than a 4-year-old to answer to. So I get it. It doesn't mean you need to go into your board meeting every day and just start screaming about all this stuff. I get that, but there's got to be something, there's got to be an avenue, when faced with things with New York City. My husband, we were prepared that he wasn't going to stay in the city. He was going to leave his job and resign, and he was able, because of other circumstances, to maneuver around it. So you've got to figure out where your stand is and be there. So that's why I've always had a lot of respect for you, for standing up for what you believed in, because I have a lot of friends who didn't, and I do feel kind of bad that they were put in that situation and whatever, but I respect that you stood strong.
Thank you. It's interesting you said that, because the other day I was thinking about it. I'm like, did I make the right choice?
Yes.
Because a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, man, you made the right choice. But if you weren't in this position, then you don't know what. Because even before I left, I was thinking, am I making the right choice? And then I said, fuck it. Like anything else in life, I just pulled the ripcord, and I'm like, fuck it, let's see what happens. So I pulled the ripcord, and then I take the LWAP, and then I'm forced to retire a month or two later. And then I'm sitting there thinking, was that a fucking good idea? Well, so now occasionally I hang out with the guys at the firehouse at different events. So the last event was a funeral. You guys are like, you should just come back, man. Fuck that. It wasn't worth it. I'm like, yeah, but then what good is my word if I fucking take the arm ticket now and come back? What good is it? Right?
Yeah.
So and all a man has is his fucking word at the end of the day, because society today has taken that away from people. Your word, right? And everyone these days are pretty much fucking liars, fakes, and phonies. And that's the thing. And even on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, people are fucking fakes, phonies. And I had an avenue to go down when it was time to take the arm ticket, but I'm like, I don't, you know what? I didn't even want to play the game. I didn't even want to play the game. And that's what it came down to. It's like, I don't want to fucking play this game and even pretend,
Right.
So I was like, fuck that. I'm out.
Yeah.
And again, I go through it every now and again. I go through my slumps. And the crazy shit is, talking to retired guys who retired for entirely different reasons, I'm going to be going through this for the next year or so. I'm like, great. So now like, it's like some days I'm sitting on the couch and I'm doing nothing. And I know I should be doing videos. I should be fucking, canning some shit. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck that, fuck this. And then other days, other days I'm 100 miles an hour, So it's an up and down. But when I think about it, was it the right move? Only time will tell.
Oh, I mean, I understand you're up and down, but I don't even see how you could question if it was the right move. I mean, for one, your health, I 100% believe it was the right move. And for two, I mean, obviously you impact a lot of people, and people who may have felt like they were on, probably look at you and say like, if he's doing it, I can do it, or whatever. So you definitely made the right move for sure. I don't understand how, all these people are still being forced out of the military and everything. I mean, we know that, it doesn't stop the spread. It, clearly it doesn't prevent, the virus. Like, so what are we doing this for? What is this? And why aren't we, who are all like sane people, saying, what's going on here? Why are we jeopardizing people's income and taking our military and making them, weak in the time of potential World War III? I don't understand any of it. And it annoys me that people aren't saying this too. What? Why are you okay with your neighbor losing their job? Why are you okay with that?
Right. And that's the crazy shit. No one had any sympathy for those who lost their jobs. You know,
No, not at
Uh,
all. They were
you got
almost like, good, good.
yeah, you got
You're the
people.
problem.
You got some people, not a lot, because it's actually, thank God, the tide's turning. But you got people who have sympathy for those who got monkeypox. I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers actively went out their way to get this shit, right? We are being
Yeah.
forced to do some shit we don't want to do, right?
Right.
But there's no
Right.
fucking sympathy for us. And listen, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not. I'm the last person on
Right.
this planet that'd be like, please guys, cry for me. I lost my. No, I'm not asking for
No.
any of that shit. Because listen, like anything else in life, it'll work itself out.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
listen,
saw.
guys.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry,
No,
no, no,
go ahead.
no. You
No,
go.
I just to end on that note of ridiculousness with the monkeypox. I saw a quick clip where they had, I believe, I don't know if it was New York City, it was some city. They were doing a protest for sex workers, and we should feel sorry for them and how their field is being impacted due to the monkeypox, and that we need to. I think they were trying to promote the rapidness of the vaccines being put into the circulation. So it was really bizarre. I saw this clip. Yeah, feel bad for the sex workers, guys. They're
Again,
impacted.
that's another crazy one. I'm like, seriously? Listen, I get it. Hookers have their place in the world, but
Sure.
it's off the radar. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not on mainstream media. It's not in TV. It's not to feel sorry for them. The oldest profession, as they say, is prostitution. It has its
Right.
place apparently. It's not going to go
Yeah.
anywhere. But do not start pulling out the violins for them.
No.
Really isn't. You know.
No.
But anyway, listen, guys. So with that, this is Catskill NY Prepper. Obviously, you guys like what you heard. She has you like what you heard. She can think for herself. She knows how to
Thank you.
speak, and she's not soft about what she needs to say. So, with that, please
Never.
head over to her channel, like and subscribe to Catskill NY Prepper. And for that, guys, the next round of, uh, the women table thing, she'll be on it with a couple of other females. Hopefully, that'll be what are we in August? Hopefully, that'll be at the end of this month, if not September. But, ma'am,
Okay.
is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. I will definitely try to make some more videos. I really enjoy just engaging with the community, and I'm kind of hit or miss when I make a video or do a live stream, but I just always really enjoy talking to everyone. So that's my thing, and that's why I'm here and learning from all of you. So I appreciate it, and thank you, Jason, for having me on.
Not a problem. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So other than that, I'll be heading over to the Angry Truth channel in about 5 minutes. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.